What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our college football channel. We're going to preview the 2024 schedule for West Virginia, give you a very early projected record for this team. Let's just jump right into it. Here was the schedule from last season. Of course, had to play Penn State and Pittsburgh in the non-conference. They're going to play those teams again this year. It'll just be flip-flop. Penn State at home, Pittsburgh on the road. So here is that 2024 schedule. You look at the non-conference, just talked about it, Penn State, Pittsburgh. They also play Albany. You look at the home schedule. So who they play in the Big 12 at home, it'll be Kansas, Iowa State, Kansas State, Baylor, and UCF. All very winnable games. Kansas, Kansas State, those will be tough, but they have a chance, at least in the Big 12, I think, to go 5-0 at home. And then you look at the road schedule, Pittsburgh, Oklahoma State, Arizona, Cincinnati, and Texas Tech. Some winnable games in there as well. I think Oklahoma State is going to be a tough one. Arizona might be a tough one, but Cincinnati, Texas Tech, they'll have a real shot in those games. And then, of course, Pitt in there in the non-conference as well. So they'll start off on August 31st against Penn State at home, then Albany on the 7th of September. Then they'll go on the road to play Pittsburgh on September 14th, home against Kansas on the 21st. Then they get their first bye week before, a pretty tough stretch here. They play Oklahoma State on the 5th of October. October 12th, they'll play Iowa State. Kansas State at home on the 19th, on the road at Arizona on the 26th. So that's going to be a tough stretch right there after they get that first bye week. Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Kansas State, Arizona, 4 games that, they could win, yeah, but they could lose all 4 of those games as well. So that's going to be the toughest stretch of the season. They get their next bye week after that stretch. Then they'll play Cincinnati on the road on November 9th. Baylor at home on the 16th. UCF on the 23rd at home. And close things out with Texas Tech on the road on November 30th. So after that stretch, and they get that second bye week, the rest of the schedule, not that bad. But yeah, it's the same story with a lot of these Big 12 teams. You just have a bunch of games that could go either way. A bunch of games. And it's always like that. It seems like a lot of close games, a lot of 50-50 type games, and whoever finds a way to win close games, that's who's going to have a good season and have a chance to get to the Big 12 championship. So let's look at some projections from last year, and then we'll get into this year's projections. Of course, they were 8-4. This was a surprise team for sure. Our projection had them at 5-7. I predicted them to go just 5-7. I thought I had them at 4-8. So this was a team that a lot of people thought would be at the bottom of the Big 12. The over/under was at 4.5. You can maybe find it up to 5.5, and obviously they blew that away. They went way over that. It's not that I thought West Virginia was going to be terrible last year. I just thought other teams in the Big 12 were going to be a lot better than they were. And I don't want to take anything away from West Virginia. They were very good last year, very solid. But, again, there were teams. Texas Tech, we thought that was a team that could maybe be a dark horse. So we thought Baylor was going to be a lot better. I mean, you just go down the list. The Big 12, there were a lot of disappointments last year. And so West Virginia took advantage of that. They won some close games, and they had a very good season at 8-4 in the regular season. So this is the scale that we use. If it's under 20 or over 80, those are pretty much guaranteed wins or losses. 20 to 29, 70 to 80, or 71 to 80%. Those are games that I think teams are going to be favored pretty comfortably. Double digits, 10 to 16 points, maybe in that range. 20 to 29, 71 to 80, or excuse me, 30 to 39, 61 to 70. Those are games where I think teams will be favored, but not by a ton, more like a touchdown. 6, 7, 8, 9 points, kind of in that range. And then your 50-50 games, these are games that could go either way. Games where I think the spread will just be 3 or 4, maybe 5 points. So for West Virginia, you've got one easy win. Albany, that's it, an FCS opponent there. But again, that is really the only easy win for them. The rest of the schedule, you've got games they should win probably, but not really guaranteed wins. I think you've got some games here in the purple with Iowa State, Cincinnati, Baylor, and UCF. All of these are games where I think they should be favored by about a touchdown. Iowa State, Baylor, UCF, teams that you figure to be a little bit worse than West Virginia. Plus, you add in the home field advantage for the Mountaineers. That's why those games wind up in the purple. And then you look at, underdog type games that you think West Virginia is for sure going to be an underdog by, about a touchdown or more. I think really you just have Penn State. I think they will be probably an 8-point underdog if I had to guess in that game. That's going to be a tough one. But that's really it. And yeah, there are other games here on the schedule where they're probably going to technically be an underdog. Oklahoma State, Arizona, more than likely on the road, maybe Kansas State. But I don't think it'll be much. I think it'll just be 3, 4, 5 points. Maybe some of those get a little closer to 6 or 7, but I'm going to call those all 50-50 games. And we've really put all of these teams in the Big 12, all these top teams, in a group together, and that's why you see so many 50-50 games. But Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Arizona, West Virginia, Utah, these are just all teams that are kind of in that cluster at the top of the Big 12. And there's really not much separation, maybe a little bit. I think Utah is probably the best team, but I don't think it's a huge gap. So you just have a bunch of 50-50 games between these top teams. And whoever wins those close games, that's going to be the teams that gets to the Big 12 championship. I think Texas Tech and Pittsburgh, those are 50-50 games as well, just because they're on the road. Those two teams are a tier below West Virginia. But again, playing them on the road is what puts those into the 50-50 category. Even though I think West Virginia is probably going to be favored in those two games. We'll see how good Texas Tech is. Obviously, Pitt's coming off of a very disappointing season. So that means you got 6 50-50 games that really could go either way. And then you've got 5 games where I think West Virginia is going to be favored, and 1 where they'll be a clear underdog against Penn State. You average all this out to get the projection, and the projection comes out to 7-5. So actually a bit of a step back, or 1 game back from last year. So they're 8-4 last year, 7-5 this year. It's the projection. I think they can absolutely get back to 8-4. But they could also go 6-6. I think that's a pretty fair projection. Again, not my prediction. My predictions will come later. But the projected record, the early projected record for West Virginia in 2024 is 7-5. Do you guys agree? Do you disagree? Your thoughts, your projections. Let me know what you think about West Virginia down in the comments below.